What's up, everybody? This is Min, aka KooZnim.
And I'm David, aka NeverFaulter.
Today, we're going to be talking about cross-platform multiplayer. Now, Microsoft recently announced that they'd be allowing all games to be able to play cross-platform multiplayer, but it's up to the developers. We can get into that later. But right now, I want to start talking about Rocket League and how Rocket League is on the PS4 and PC, but they have cross-platform. And that's the game that Microsoft used to announce this, is that they announced that Rocket League will be able to have Xbox players to be able to play with PC players.
Right. Now, I'm trying to kind of hold back on my excitement, primarily because, at least for Rocket League, I'm a big Rocket League fan, and cross-platform play already exists between PS4 and PC. But all that really means, and it's still a good thing, is that you get a wider range of people to play against, which is awesome. So opening up the Microsoft side for the Xbox players is, again, a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
What I was hoping, the reason why I'm a bit reluctant, is I would really like to find my friends who don't have the game on the same system I do, be able to find them, create a party and play with them, which at least right now doesn't seem possible, aside from the fact that Microsoft has went ahead and opened the door, says, hey, we can do cross-platform play, but Sony has to come through that door.
But this isn't about just Sony. We know games like Street Fighter V, I believe, has its own account system, so that even though a person's playing on Steam or PS4, they log into their Street Fighter V account, and they can find each other that way, regardless of what computer or a console that you're playing on. We don't have Street Fighter, so we don't know for sure, but it sounds like something. That sounds right. Me personally, I'm really excited about this cross-platform multiplayer. It means, like you said, more people are going to be playing together. But more importantly, not everyone has to have the same console to play with each other. And I think that's really big. I know there's the whole console war thing. PS4 has better resolution, blah, blah, blah. Xbox can't do this, blah, blah, blah. But personally, I like the Xbox's user interface a lot better than the PlayStation's.
Agreed.
Not only that, their party system, to me, works way better than the PlayStation 4. Oh, yeah. Choices on the PlayStation 4, I don't understand, and it's just intuitive on the Xbox.
Right.
At least that's how I see it.
Right.
So, and to me, resolution, whatever, it's not that important. It's really not that big of a deal. I know people will be like, yeah, right, it is a big deal, but it's like...
It's a big deal for single player.
Yeah.
But if we're talking cross-platform, obviously that's going to be multiplayer. We're talking strictly multiplayer here. So, again, it is very exciting. We've been hearing about, this type of setup for a while, and it's never really happened. So for Microsoft to come out and openly say, okay, we're ready to go ahead and push forward with this. Let's get everybody in the same pool. Let's all just play together, have fun. It's great. It's a great idea. I really hope that they find some way to match everyone up. Like you stated before, Street Fighter has a login system that might be a bit scary as far as, okay, I personally play a lot of games. I know you do. I'm sure a lot of you out there play a lot of games. So having a separate login for each game just so you can play with a friend, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not as daunting as we think.
But that would be a lot of logins. And you mentioned yesterday, jokingly, but Facebook, like if we could all log in with Facebook, that's not what I want.
Probably not going to
happen.
It's not
what I want, but it's a feasible idea.
Yeah.
Facebook, don't do that. If you do, you didn't get it from us, please.
And if you did, you owe us money.
A lot of it.
Yes.
A lot of it. What are your concerns about cheating, though?
So my concern, again, cheating can happen on any platform. We've seen it in the past before. It's a little harder on current gen, PS4 and Xbox One, but it does happen from time to time. PC, obviously, significantly easier to cheat. So that's my concern. What are the advantages and disadvantages of having crossplay? Are the PC players going to be able to cheat against the console players? Well, if it's crossplay like they're talking, yeah. Again, it's not... I don't think it's a huge issue, but it is a concern when you're online trying to play competitively. You want an even match.
Right.
And with the PC element coming in as a cross-platform player, that could raise some concerns.
the big issue that comes up all the time with cross-platform is first-person shooters, console versus PCs using keyboard and mouse. Do you think it would be like it's an option where controller players only? Because I play a lot on PC, not first-person shooters, but games in general, and I use a controller all the time.
Right.
So I know there are PC players out there that use a controller. They might even prefer it. I prefer it. Even I understand that the mouse is much more accurate, but I'm just so comfortable with the controller in my hand. So would they ever, put in that option? Don't play against people with keyboard. Or something.
They definitely, even on Rocket League, we'll go back to Rocket League, they have the option to not allow crossplay. As far as I know, I have had that option checked. It does not work. It doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work ever. I constantly get matched up with PC players. Not like I don't want to play them, but I guess at a certain point, it just seemed to me that they had an advantage. I just wasn't that good at that point in time. So I turned it off. I was like, okay, no more PC players. I'm done. Something's going on. The mouse and keyboard, whatever they're using is better. But that didn't seem to work. It still doesn't seem to work because I think that box is still checked and I get paired with PC players all the time.
Right.
As far as first-person shooters, I know personally, I know this argument is never going to end, but a mouse is much more accurate for shooting than a controller. I know that controller players are extremely good. At the top level, there's probably no difference.
And that's my question is like, does it make that big of a difference when you are that good?
At the top, probably not.
Okay.
But for your average gamer who's out there to have fun, maybe get a little competitive, or they're pretty competitive, but they're just not, they're not going MLG anytime soon. The mouse, in my opinion, is a significant advantage.
It's a big advantage. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, I wanted to talk about exclusive items, and what I'm talking about specifically is Destiny. Let's talk about Destiny. Okay. So we played Destiny for a while. We don't play anymore. It's just not a game that we're having a lot of fun with. But so PlayStation had exclusive content for Destiny players, like a year, whatnot. And the only item that I can really think of off the top of my head is the Hawk Moon, which was a handgun or something.
Yes.
So if cross-platform multiplayer does happen, does that mean developers have to say no more exclusive items? Because say I'm an Xbox One Destiny player and I'm playing against PlayStation 4 players and they're rocking me with this Hawk Moon that just has so much damage, and I'm like, well, that's not fair. Clearly, they try to balance it out, but it's the feeling like that they have something that you can't have because it's just not available to you.
I feel like implementation, one way or another, would be incredibly difficult. You think about, like you say, the exclusives. Can you turn those individual exclusives off? I'm sure you could. Is it worth the publisher's time? Is it worth the game creator's time to program that just so that a couple people are like, okay, we're not being treated unfairly anymore. Right. That's great. Would it eliminate exclusive content for consoles? I don't think that's ever going to happen. No. That's too much money in their pockets. They're not going to pass up on it. The only thing I can say is at least eventually they make it available to everyone. I don't know if there has been a case where there's been something that's PS4 only forever or Xbox One only forever as far as a game that's on both consoles. But that's kind of a tricky middle ground. Like, which way are they going to go? Are they going to care? Are they just going to say, hey, look, you want cross-platform play?
Buy it.
So, somebody's going to have a gun that you don't have. Deal with it. We'll maybe give you a gun that gives you some different type of advantage.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with that.
Cool. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.